What's up, brand builder? Stephen Hurahan here at brandmasteracademy.com, and in this video you're going to learn what a go-to-market strategy is with strategy types and critical elements, so you can understand the launchpad successful brands use to mobilize their message and earn that critical brand awareness. So you've got a product or a service that meets a want or a need, right? Well, that's great, and it's the makings of a successful business or a successful brand, but having a great solution is only one half of the pie. Finding a way to craft a message to influence the people who need what you have, and then mobilizing that message is the more challenging task. Stemming from a clearly defined brand strategy, an effective go-to-market strategy zeroes in on who you're targeting, where they are, and exactly how you'll engage. And in this video, you'll discover a step-by-step guide to help you understand the components of a successful go-to-market strategy and follow through the template so you can really create one for your own product launch and your own brand. So what exactly is a go-to-market strategy? Well, a go-to-market, or a GTM strategy as it's also known, is a detailed action plan created to position your offering for market launch. Now, it is created on the back of a brand strategy and a clearly defined target market, and then creating a message and a marketing plan to outline your sales strategy. So exactly how you're going to bring that product to market, how you're going to bring that brand to market, and how you're going to connect with your audience to convert them. So your GTM strategy is the roadmap that details how you want to reach your target market with your product or your service, and that will highlight your competitive advantage. So your competitive advantage is all about your positioning strategy. Why are you different? Why should your audience choose you over your competitors? And then rolling that out across your marketing channels. So when exactly is the right time to create a go-to-market strategy? Well, the answer really is in the phrase itself, go to market. When you're ready to go to market, that is when you need to create your strategy. Now, you could be ready to go to market with a new product, you could be ready to go to market with a new service, or you could be ready to go to market for the very first time with a new brand. So it's really when you're ready to introduce something new to the market, to that target audience, is when you need to create your go-to-market strategy. So that go-to-market strategy is all about providing clarity and meaning. What exactly is being introduced? Who's it being introduced to? And what is the value of what is being introduced? If you're able to clearly articulate all of these and select the right channels to do that, then your go-to-market strategy has a chance of success. And this helps the brand to leverage appropriate tactics by adopting scalable marketing models that will help them achieve the right type of engagement with the right type of customers to ultimately drive conversions, drive sales, and gain that market share. So let's talk about some of the benefits of the go-to-market strategy. Now, markets don't respect guesswork. A product launch is simply an experiment if you don't go about it with an informed strategy. Now, as we know, some companies rush to market based on this perceived need that is not really subject to any validation. They have this idea that they have a product or a service and that obviously there is a market out there for that without really validating that the market exists. But gathering relevant information to inform your go-to-market strategy will really help to prevent the mistakes and the oversights that are often common in new product launches, thereby limiting the chances of failure considerably. Now, of course, there are plenty of other benefits to an effective go-to-market strategy. It increases the chances of success for your product, your service, or your brand. It clearly sets a direction for all stakeholders and creates an established path for market success and growth. It also defines what success looks like and the timeline for that success, and it preempts any challenges that often comes up from product launches, service launches, or brand launches. So let's have a look at the different types of go-to-market strategies. Now, your go-to-market strategy can be product-led or sales-led, but you can also direct your strategy towards any of the models outlined below, or a combination of all or some. Number one, inbound. Now, you can create brand awareness and attract prospects organically at every stage of the buyer's journey using methods like content marketing, blogs, and search engine optimization, or SEO. Inbound helps to attract people who are already looking for your solutions with the right content and at the right time as well. Number two, outbound. Now, although inbound marketing is a very effective long-term strategy, quite often a go-to-market strategy aims to achieve short-term goals as well. Now, paid advertising, including traditional channels such as television and radio, as well as digital channels such as Facebook ads, Google ads, or display networks, offer a more direct response. Though outbound activities are pay to play and they do require a budget, it gets the right message in front of the target market with certainty. Number 3, sales. Now, the sales strategy is about empowering the sales teams through training, coaching, and the creation of marketing content and demonstrations as well to use during the sales process. Now, this will enhance their ability to convert customers and increase sales results and productivity as well. Number 4, account-based strategy. Now, ABM or account-based marketing strategy is about targeting high-value accounts using valuable content, comprehensive cross-channel campaigns, and one-on-one engagement as well. In ABM, the marketing and salespeople collaborate to locate and engage top-rated B2B clients to close deals directly with them. Number 5, demand generation. Now, this strategy leverages sales-centric marketing activities such as cold calling, emails, list buying, and TV commercials, as well as sponsored webinars, to name a few. And they target customers and convince them to buy their products and services through sales pitches or presentations to give them some kind of value. Now, of course, not all of these are going to apply to every single brand, every single business, or every single go-to-market strategy. It's about identifying which types of go-to-market strategies are right for you, which types of go-to-market tactics are right for you, and which channels will best get you in front of the type of audience that you are targeting. Now, as they say, any recipe is only as good as the ingredients within that recipe. And when it comes to your go-to-market strategy, there are many different components that you can choose from. So let's have a look at those components. Number 1, product market fit. Now, here you want to validate the need of your product or service or brand by identifying the specific problems that your product or service solve for your target audience. So before launching, you need to be convinced based on facts and figures as well, why your product has a space in the current or emerging market. Now, recently a CB Insight stat showed that 38% of startups fail because there's no validated market need. So in other words, 38% of these brands failed because they didn't go into the market and test and see if there was a market out there prepared to buy what they had to sell. Having a product or a service that solves a problem is key here. If there aren't enough people with that problem who need it to be solved, then you don't have a market to sell your product or service to. So test and validate your ideas with real people before building your product. Number 2, questions to find your target audience. Now, there are questions that you need to answer in clear terms about your target market and how you'll create a strategy to reach them. So who is your perfect client? Where are they? What's their budget? What are their core challenges? What do they need? What do they want? Why do they need it? Why do they want it? What will happen if they don't get it? Are there segments of the market that we can better resonate than others? You need to really get all of this information about the market and potential customers to support your strategy. Now, of course, research like this will include the likes of demographics and psychographics, as well as geographical locations, amongst other things, and that will all help you to narrow down your focus. Number 3, competition and demand. Now, you don't get into a fight until you're ready for the fight. You need to get information about the competitors that are already offering the product or the service that you're launching, or at least a similar product or service. Now, obviously, you don't want to operate in an oversaturated market. So there has to be a real unmet need within your market and a real demand for what you have to offer. There's no point in going into the market and offering the same thing. You need to approach that market with a point of difference for your product, your service, or your brand. Now, your competitors have already established themselves in the market, so it's your job to identify the reasons that they give their audience to choose them in order to find an offer that's more compelling. Number 4, distribution model. So how will you get your product or service to your customer? You need to define the channels or the paths that the product or service will take to reach that end user. Your distribution model should include how your customers will go about buying the product. So will they shop directly on your e-commerce store, or will they buy from the retailer's physical store or from their website? Will you need distributors or a warehouse? These are all questions that you need to ask when defining your distribution model. Now, for software products or software as a service, would your customers download it, or would they have to install a plugin, or would they have to log on to a web-based app? Your distribution channels should provide a seamless customer shopping experience and product delivery as well. Number 5, your messaging strategy. Now it gets to the point where you have to create a narrative around your product or service or brand and present it in a way that appeals to your target customers. Now, to achieve this, you need to create a clear description of your product and what it does, why it exists, what problem it's going to solve, and itemize every single problem it solves as well, and position it to stand out from the competitors by the unique way it solves those problems. So create a clear messaging strategy for market awareness and give your target audience a trail of crumbs to follow in order to learn more about how your product or service can help their lives. Now, of course, your messaging strategy should provide convincing answers on how your offer addresses a specific need within the target market and why your customers can be assured that your product or service will meet that need. And it goes without saying that any product messaging needs to be aligned with the overarching brand strategy and overarching messaging strategy. Number 6, an effective pricing strategy. Now, you need a pricing strategy that should align with your position that you want to own in the market. There's no point in going out there with a pricing strategy discounting your products if you want to be known as a luxury brand. Now, while the cost of production is an important factor in pricing, customers will only offer money that matches the value that they hope to get from your product or service. Now, the price point of your product you're bringing into the market is influenced by the position that the brand takes in that market. So again, going back to that idea, if you want to be a luxury brand, then you want to go into the market with a luxury brand pricing strategy. And number 7, your marketing strategy. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road and your product or service or brand message meets the very people that your brand intends to help. Now, brands don't need to create traffic or create an audience. These people already exist. They're already out there. They're browsing, they're searching, they're reading, commuting, relaxing, they're researching. An effective marketing strategy will determine exactly what their audience is doing, where they are, and how they're doing what they're doing in order to meet them in the right place at the right time with the right message that's been designed specifically for that moment. Now look, the possible combinations of media and channels is endless, from direct response ads to helpful articles to entertaining videos across social, search, display, digital, TV, radio, print, and beyond. And the choice of media and channels is not the only challenge. Choosing the right combination for the right audience is where the real challenge is. Now look, every business in the world has some kind of solution to some kind of want or need, but that isn't a ticket to success. You can have an amazing product or an amazing service, though its success relies heavily on the method used to communicate the value of it to that intended audience. Now, despite the saying, great products or services don't sell themselves. Behind every success is a story of an effective go-to-market strategy to make that success possible. Now, I'm going to leave another video up here that will help you dive deeper into brand strategy. But if you want to become a master brand builder, then hit the like and subscribe to make sure you get more videos like this.